I got about 3/4 of the way up on the switchbacks and found out I still had about 3 hours to go. In September of 2019, we went on a trip out to Yosemite National Park and hiked Clouds Rest. On that same trip, we also camped at the Whitney Portal Campground. We had a great campsite next to Lone Pine Creek. After we had some food, we went to bed to get some rest for the upcoming hike. It's 4:30 a.m. It's actually 4:15 a.m. We're heading our way up to Whitney Portal. Get our start for the push for the summit. Here we are. We're in the portal. We're going to give it a push. See how we do. It's going to be a long day, so we probably won't be smiling to the end of this, but we'll see. We're smiling now. Well, my hiking buddy had to go back. She was suffering from some altitude breathing issues. But so far I've made it up to the John Muir Wilderness sign. Walked over Lone Pine Creek. It was pretty flooded. Glad I had my hiking poles with me for sure. What a beautiful night. There's a million stars out. It's a beautiful sunrise coming up over the town of Lone Pine. I'm almost to Lone Pine Lake. Making good time. I hope I can continue on the rest of the way up. I stopped for my breakfast break. Thought I'd get a quick video of what the sunrise looks like here. That's amazing for sure. And this is what's behind me. Look at that alpenglow coming up on the tops of these peaks here. It's just amazing. One of the cool things about this hike is how often you could hear Lone Pine Creek as you were hiking up. Coming up to the infamous footbridge. This is beautiful up here, that's for sure. Hear jets flying around. There's the sign for Lone Pine Lake. And you can see it sort of in the distance behind the trees there. We came up here and went to Lone Pine Lake last year. We didn't have a permit to go up to Whitney, but we have one this year, so I'm heading up there. Well, there's a better view of Lone Pine Lake down there. Look at us up here. Oh man, this is unreal. It's beautiful. Up here getting some water filtered out. Whew, this is a hard slog for sure. I'm just about to the 99 switchbacks though. This is Consultation Lake. Water's beautiful. Well, unfortunately, I got about 3/4 of the way up on the switchbacks and found out I still had about 3 hours to go. I would have been coming back late in the day, Probably would have been a little bit too dangerous. So mountain's not going anywhere. Now I'll have to make another go at it some other time. Hopefully next time me and Nettie can be in a little better shape or a little more ready for it. But it's still beautiful out here. It's still awesome to be able to come out here. What I didn't know is that Nettie started to hike again later in the day to come and meet me on the trail. She caught me just as I was on my way back down, just about to the junction of Lone Pine Lake. Unfortunately, the camera she was using didn't pick up her audio. What you would have heard was her expressing her undying love to me. As we were hiking back down, we saw a couple of deer just off the side grazing on some food. The nature and wildlife out in these locations is amazing. Please enjoy a few more images of the voyage up and down the mountain.